Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Adrienne Montgomery. I'm with ERP VAR. Thank you so much for joining us today. Today we're going to be talking about growing your VAR business with the Acumatica A Team. I'm joined today by Acumatica Partner Account Manager Karen Foreman and Jeremy Patoka over at SWK Technologies. We're going to go ahead and let Noelle Bloxon get started.
Thank you so much, Adrienne. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. This is the June 2019 ERP VAR webinar series that we're doing today, and we're so excited because not only myself, Noelle Bloxon, Partner Recruitment Manager for Acumatica, is on the call, but we have a new partner, Director of Partner Recruitment, a new team member of ours, Scott Koblenz, who just started about a month or so ago. He's on the call as well, and our fantabulous, I don't know if that's a correct word or not, partner account manager, Karen Foreman, is on, and one of her key successful, I should say, really one of our top partners, SWK Technologies, Jeremy Patoka, is on. So what we'd like to do today is have a nice, conversation with Jeremy and SWK, and then Karen is going to go in and talk about what it takes to be an ideal partner at Acumatica, and she'll explain her role as a partner account manager. So I'm going to go ahead now with what we say is our interview, but before I begin, here's some highlights about Jeremy. He's a cloud solutions architect at SWK Technologies. He has been with Acumatica as a partner for over 6 years now, and he is hailing from Portland, Maine. So here are some of his highlights of what he's accomplished over the years. And SWK, as you can see, is headquartered here on the East Coast at East Hanover, New Jersey. And SWK offers ERP, EDI, WMS software products and solutions as well. So welcome, Jeremy. Thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
You're quite welcome. And I want to start off with congratulating you, because I was there when this was announced at our January Partner Summit in Houston, Texas. SWK was named 2019 MVP. How does that feel?
It feels pretty good. We the whole team worked really hard last year, so it was pretty exciting to win, to have a couple MVPs at SWK, as well as win the North American Partner of the Year.
That's awesome. Congratulations on that once again. That was a fantastic moment. So, Jeremy, this is an audience that we have here that's predominantly partner prospects, those who are considering a potential partnership with Acumatica. So, would you mind telling the audience about SWK and the target customer and verticals that you serve?
Sure. So, SWK Technologies has been around for about 30 years. And we offer a number of different ERP products. Acumatica is currently the only true cloud product in our portfolio, and that's really the practice that I focus within, is the Acumatica practice. So my role is really working with all of our sales reps as we identify new potential customers, and for the most part, we focus on manufacturing. So we do a lot of manufacturing and have on our legacy systems as well. So we have a pretty large customer base of manufacturing really across the country. We have a few other vertical focuses, so I spend a lot of time in field service as well, and a fair amount of nonprofit.
Great. Quite diverse indeed. Now, I know it's been a while since you were onboarded as a partner with Acumatica, but would you describe to the audience your onboarding experience? What made our process different than other vendors?
Mm-hmm. You know, it was really helpful, just the material provided and the access provided, both to getting your hands on the application and working with it. It's if you've ever downloaded and installed Acumatica, it's pretty easy to do that. Even for a business user to be able to install Acumatica and just get access to poke around with some demo data So that process, once you are given access, is really fast. Like that same week, that you start that process, you could have your hands on the product and just start poking around. But on top of that, it's been really helpful for our larger team to also have access to all the materials. So it doesn't matter if it's just some good competitive analysis that's provided, some marketing collateral, different trainings. The trainings, have really become a lot more robust as well. When I first started, there was like a pre-sales certification and a sales certification, and now there's really authorizations down into the vertical niches that Acumatica sits in. So out on the line here.
Can you hear me? I'll do that Starbucks gift card later.
So, but in all seriousness, we're all in the ERP business and in the software business, but this is really the people business. So it's so important to be working with a partner that is going to give you face time, is going to give you phone time, even if it's a question that you're just going to shoot over text on the line with a prospect. They're really always there for you, and that's been my experience across the board.
That's great to hear, and great shout out, and I concur. Karen is awesome as a Pam. And I will say this too, since you had come on board, the enablement phase that you alluded to has been enhanced greatly. So like you mentioned, there's more material for our newly onboarded partners to have access to and resources, and of course you've mentioned the certification training. So that's something that we're going to continue to do moving forward, is constantly enhancing the onboarding process.
Yeah, and I'll talk a little bit more about that later as well, Noelle, but yes.
Okay, perfect. Sure. So this is something I would like to find out. Could you please share with us, I know you probably have many, but your favorite new customer success story?
It's hard to pick just one, but we have a customer in Southern California that really had some high volume requirements for processing orders, and it was something that other ERP systems just flat out couldn't do. But because of the nature of Acumatica as a platform, we were able to facilitate them as they grew from a very small company, like under 10 million in revenue, to over above 500 million. So that's a really fun story, because as you all know, one of the things that has changed with the subscription model is the customer life cycle and how we all view the customer life cycle. And it's always good when you have success on the front end and you can get someone live, but to actually watch them in that kind of growth trajectory in the same product is just really exciting, and see them evaluating other ERP systems, your tier 1A solutions, and say, you know what, we're sticking with Acumatica still as we grow. I just think speaks to the platform and the product. So I would say the technical side of me. I have a lot of other great stories about like how nonprofits have had success and field service organizations, but I think the scalability factor is huge.
Okay, great. Thank you for that. And you kind of alluded to this, but what is the typical Acumatica sales cycle that SWK sees?
We usually see around 90 days. Sometimes it could be 6 weeks if you have a very qualified prospect. Sometimes it could be 9 months. But I would say the average is about 90 days, and that's from entering your funnel and through closing the deal.
Okay, great. And you mentioned this also too about the Acumatica platform, how diverse it is and robust. But in a sense, I wanted to kind of see if you can talk a little bit more about our various product additions that we have and the features and functionalities, and that what makes, your customers, shout with joy that we offer such an incredible platform for them.
The biggest, and this is something that the partner account managers will educate you on, is the way you position Acumatica is very different from a legacy ERP system. If you're going to take this into a new customer to set up their general ledger, accounts payable, and accounts receivable, the customer is totally, someone's totally missing the point. And what I mean by that is we have an unlimited user product that sits in the cloud that can be accessible anywhere by all the users in the business. And that's just something that has not happened before. So it's great to be able to tout that in the sales cycle, but also once they're live. So I think for me, it really starts there with the technology stack. That's the beauty of this whole publisher-partner relationship or publisher-VAR relationship, is Acumatica really does focus 100% on technology, and then it allows us to do our job, which is selling and implementing and supporting. So it's always over the last 6 years for me been about the platform, what they're doing as a technology company, and how we can solve more than just financial accounting and inventory and supply chain needs, how we can actually allow people using platform technology to monitor their business, to get notifications about important events that they can take action on. Maybe in the past they were running reports, and now we're just using the tool set in Acumatica to say, hey, when this thing happens, I need to know about it. It's just a totally different sell, and it's a totally different implementation because it does all these other things that we didn't have access to before. Aside from that, you asked specifically about the vertical additions, and I mentioned a couple of them earlier, but manufacturing is certainly one that we're having a lot of success with. This is a manufacturing product that's going to be for discrete manufacturers primarily, or batch process, and that's frankly a large part of our legacy base. So we're seeing a lot of those customers take interest in what's next from a cloud perspective. Another would be the field services edition. It's really nice when you can take a product into a sales meeting or into a discovery and know that you've got this in your repertoire, because field service is one of those areas for us where there's just not a lot of competition. There's just not a lot of other, I don't know that there's any other ERP system that has a single application for field service inventory. Maybe they're manufacturing too, and that's the beauty of this whole architecture, is we can actually layer them on. If you're manufacturing, and if you're doing field service and installing and repairing in the field, and then you're also doing e-commerce, we can bundle all of these. These are just different suites and modules that are part of the Acumatica technology stack. And field service is one that we've been really successful with, and have frankly not had a lot of very competitive situations with. And then the last one I just mentioned too is pretty new to the scene, but we at SWK are very excited about it, and that would be the Commerce Edition. And that is basically a publisher-supported connector with BigCommerce. This was announced at the Houston Summit just in late January, early February, and we're getting a lot of traction with her, even though it's in the early stages. It seems like there's always something new that's happening and something that we're trying to move fast and respond to, really get into the hands of the customers, and for us that's one of them right now, is how do we take this Commerce Edition to market. It's a really powerful ROI for not just being someone's back office system, but also being the front-end e-commerce platform, where a majority for a lot of these folks of their revenue is coming in. So the fact that we can walk into a prospect and now present a single solution stack between BigCommerce and Acumatica, Acumatica being the source of data, is really powerful, and And like I said, it's so new still, I don't have a whole lot more to say about it, but we're figuring it out, and it's fun.
Yeah, that's great. And then we're getting a lot of great feedback about the Commerce Edition, so thank you for, alluding to that. And also, now it's time for us to give you a shout-out in regards to your recently published video about the top 5 takeaways at the Acumatica Summit, which was in Houston, as I mentioned, in January. So what about Summit that makes it so special to you for, anyone who's considering coming? What do you get out of our Summit that we do annually?
Mm-hmm. That's a great question. I think I've been going to the summit since Long Beach, which was one of the early ones. So I've seen, and every year I've actually been to the summit since then. So every year I've been in this channel. It's just really important for us to get everybody there, see what's coming next. That's definitely part of the excitement. In our early stages, we had a lot of people actually doing training, and the more that the more autonomous we are and more that we are already trained and functioning in that role, we don't do as much of the training, although the trainings are great that are provided in person. For me, it's about 2 things. Number one, I said earlier, Acumatica really is a technology company, right? You're not competing direct with a direct sales team, so they are focusing on technology, and that it's not just a line. When you go to the summit, you see that. It's about the CTO, Mike C, getting up there and talking about what's next, and it's what's next next month, and then what's next year, and it's been exciting to see the updates and see some really drastic changes to what an ERP system can do in 2019, but also see how Acumatica delivers on that. I've seen year over year where they announce, we're going to have this next year, and then we get to next year and they have it. So it's really, and when you look around in the room, I do this every year now because this is the part I get really excited about. Everybody is just kind of like zoned in. Nobody's looking at their phones when those sessions are going on. So it's really exciting just to see what's next and what we're going to be able to, what problems we can solve for our customers next. The other side of the summit for me is the social aspect, and it's getting FaceTime with people from Acumatica, people from even just other VARs, the collaboration that happens at these events, getting some time one-on-one with ISVs that you're doing business with. It's just for me, especially this last one, having been my 5th or so summit that I've been to, it was so much I was exhausted, and I didn't even attend like I said, I don't necessarily need to attend the training at this point, but I'm having these one-off meetings with different people from Acumatica and the ISVs, and it's so great just to get together, and like I said, we talk about technology a lot, and Acumatica is a software company, and we implement software, but we're in the people business at the end of the day, and it's a time to really nurture those relationships.
Great, and we look forward to seeing you in Las Vegas in January 2020 for your 7th, I guess, right? So
yep.
Thank you for that recap. And I'm going to close out with this 2-part question, if I may. How do you see your Acumatica partnership growing in the coming years? And then part 2, why should a partner prospect consider joining Acumatica's partner program?
Sure, those are great questions. So part 1, I think we're going to keep doing what we're doing today. What we're doing is working, and we're going to continue doing that more. So finding existing customers, getting new customers. We are very focused still on new customer acquisition, not just taking a legacy base, but it's definitely a mix of both of those, and just doing more of that. We've got a system that appears to be working for us, and we're going to stick to it. As far as the second part of the question, why should someone join the Acumatica channel as a new partner? You're going to see a theme here with the way I answer it, and I bring it back to the product. I mean, you're taking a very competitive ERP system into a marketplace that is ready for it. Acumatica 11 years ago, I don't know that they even saw the writing on the wall as far as where the cloud was going, and they made some really big bets on that, and it's worked out. So often when we're in a sales cycle or when we're taking an existing customer of ours through the process of considering what's next for them, maybe because their product is being sunsetted, this is just a product that is at the right place at the right time. And we see that over and over again. So if I wasn't selling Acumatica today and I knew that there was this other system out there, like, I would want to do it because, you want to be competitive within your own business. You want to diversify, especially if you're still on legacy products. Recurring revenue, recurring subscription is a real thing. And when you actually start to see that hit your P&L, it's a very exciting time when you've been used to license purchase and maintenance renewals, right? And then your support. So it can really, if you embrace it, it can really change your business and hit your bottom line in a big way.
Awesome, Jeremy. Thank you so much for sharing that with the audience, and we really appreciate your time and your dedication to Acumatica. And at this time, I'm going to introduce my colleague, Karen Foreman. Karen, would you start off by addressing this question? Would you please describe your role as an Acumatica Partner Account Manager?
Yes, absolutely. So first of all, thank you, Jeremy. I do have the pleasure of working with great partners. SWK is just one of the partners I work with, but they have had phenomenal growth, and I've been with Acumatica about 2 years, so it has been so awesome to just watch their journey, and again, starting, becoming Partner of the Year this past year. So kudos to you and your team. And thank you, everyone on the phone. I know it's end of quarter, really crazy time, but the fact that you took a few minutes just to learn more about Acumatica, really excited that you did join us. So yeah, let me just start off, and I've got just a few slides here, and then certainly open to questions as well. But I wanted to just sort of share with you that, like you are all already selling another ERP solution, and I did work at Sage for a few years, and I was looking to make a change, and I actually sought out Acumatica. I loved what they were doing and thought that I didn't want to work with a partner or an ERP company, a publisher that had both a direct and a channel. So I absolutely love the fact that we are 100% partner focused, partner driven. We live and die through our partners, right? So that in and of itself is phenomenal. So, I always like to say that I wake up every day and think, what do my partners need? How do I help tailor a solution for them? What does that look like? Every partner, like Jeremy said, may focus on a specific vertical. Some of our partners are really into a micro vertical. I have one partner that really focuses on overhead doors, and that is all they do. So really understanding, understanding my partner, and then bringing in those resources within Acumatica. So really acting as that quarterback, but at the end of the day, the end of a quarter, your success is my success. I am 100% driven to help you close Acumatica deals and whatever that looks like. So as a partner account manager, my territory is all of Florida, kind of over through the Midwest, a little bit in the Midwest, just because I do have some legacy partners, if you will, or I should say legacy ERP solutions that they kind of came over as a conglomerate. So I do support all of those. And then up through Washington, D.C. So there are 5 other PAMs, so we do try to be more in the geography. So I am out of Atlanta, but that means if we want to have an event in Florida or whatever that looks like, I can easily be there. So yes. And then I'm sure you're asking the question, and I know we've talked about some of these, but why would you want to partner with Acumatica? And it's really funny because I know I have not been this excited about being part of this company, part of a company. I worked at IBM for a number of years, so right out of college, I was pretty excited about that. But it is true, and it's funny to hear partners of ours now that said we were in retirement and then we watched what you guys were doing. Maybe they were a Microsoft partner and they saw what Acumatica was doing with our technology, and I always say that too. I love that Jeremy said that. We are about selling ERP, but we really are a technology company. And so they come out of retirement and they're saying, "Wow, this is really fun. I'm having a great time," and I love that, right? I mean, you want to be passionate about what you're doing. And I'm not going to go through these slides, and I know Noel and Scott can share with you, but just a couple of things that I want to point out is that we distribute 100% of our leads to our partners. And, Acumatica, we do a lot of marketing as well. And so we do get a lot of leads in, and we will look at, who has the certification if it's a manufacturing lead, who makes sense from a geography perspective. But rest assured, all of those leads are going to our partners. And then as a PAM, we are helping you pull in those resources to help you ultimately, close that deal, no matter what that is. A couple other things I think Jeremy touched on. We give you a free license, right? What better way to learn our product? And a lot of our partners actually use Acumatica internally. And I got to tell you, at Sage, I didn't use our product. So when I joined Acumatica, it's really nice for me to be able to say, I use our own solution. I use our CRM. This is how I use it. So I can bring a different perspective, especially to talking to a VP of sales. And I do that a lot. I can't be at every demo, but if you need me to be at a demo or you need a PAM to have a seat at the table to help you close, we will do that if possible. So we really do want to listen to what you need. And then I'm sure you're going to have questions, so I'll just move on. We touched a little bit about the partner onboarding experience. And I got to tell you, 2 years ago, when I started, we did not have a dedicated enablement team. And Jeff Ashley, who is our VP of Partner Enablement, and Noel reports to Jeff, he really brought some folks over. In fact, one of the guys on his team, well, they have all sold in the past, and a couple of them even sold Acumatica. So what we did is we said, we want to make sure that when a partner says yes to Acumatica, that we put this amazing, typically it's about a 10-week program, and this program is really focused on helping your team, right, no matter if they're in sales, whatever their role is, to really understand, we'll start with the portal, and our portal is absolutely phenomenal. It has more content, success stories, anything you need, data sheets. So we really do spend a lot of time just making sure that you know where to find the information. And then a lot of times as you're learning, obviously come to your PAM, and then we take the time to kind of show you where that information is. But really going through, what is our value proposition? Because it is selling differently than maybe any other product you've sold in the past. And then going over pricing and who is our competitor, and then how do we help you build that pipeline, right? That is so important. So we're really going to work with your marketing team and help you. We have campaigns, so a lot of our customers, our partners do have a legacy customer base, and it may be that they have, Sage customers that are looking to move to a TrueComp solution, and so we will help work on a migration campaign, or SL customers, or whatever you might have. We're going to really help you to market to them if that's what you want. And then we touched a bit on our ISV, which that is stands for Independent Software Vendors, and we have a phenomenal ecosystem, and some of those you've heard, right? DocuSign, Avalara. We have, I believe it's about 170 right now and growing. And Jeremy talked about our summit, which is phenomenal. I believe we had about 130, I might be wrong, 130 ISVs that were there with their product. And, you know, Jeremy can tell you and other partners can tell you, they're winning solutions partnering with some of these ISVs and really have a practice to be able to work with those. And it is this phenomenal ecosystem. And then just, you know, a few other things as far as that implementation assist. So for your very first deal, we do want to make sure that you are successful. So we will walk hand in hand with you and your team to make sure that, you know, you have a great reference for that very first sale. Okay. And then just a couple other things I know I've touched on. You know, we really are your dedicated resource. We are that first person that you may come to if, you know, even if it's an accounting issue, you come to us and we say, absolutely, we'll get our accounting team involved. If it's technical, certainly we'll show you how to open a case, pre-sales. As you're getting up to speed, you're going to want our pre-sales team, and they are focused on different additions as well. So, you know, SWK now, they don't really use our pre-sales team much at all, but they will use our technical team. But again, as you're getting up to speed and growing your practice, our most phenomenal field service specialists, right? Just because they have experience with it. But we're really going to help understand what it is, where do you have success? And then we do a lot as PAMs. We want to help you with local events. So I will go to, like I mentioned, this one partner that's in the Midwest, and they did an event. They were speakers at this overhead door industry. I was there, and I was there to talk about Acumatica. So, you know, we're going to support you when that makes sense, and really just help you build, continue to build that strong pipeline. And you know that. All of you have been in business, but it really starts with the strong pipeline. And then any regional events. I love what we are doing right now with Lunch and Learns. So we as PAMs will work with our partners and say, where do you have maybe a pocket of prospects, or where do you have maybe legacy accounts that have already mentioned to you that they're not happy with their current system. Their business has outgrown what you're currently, you know, what the ERP system they have is providing. So we will find a location, we will come in and do the lunch and learn with you, invite those prospects, and we're seeing a lot of success from those. So again, there's, you know, we want to listen to you as our partner and say, what do you feel you need? And we'll share all the best practices, all of the things that we know and what our partners are doing, and really help you grow this Acumatica practice. As I pause and take a breath.
A lot of information there.
Yes, exactly. See, I told you how excited I am about what I do. Are there questions, Noelle, or we can maybe open it up to...
Yeah, well, actually, I was going to see if, Scott, are you on right now?
Yes, I am.
Hi, Scott.
Okay, Scott Colentz, I wanted to introduce you. And Karen, thank you so much
you're welcome.
for what you gave us truly a definitely comprehensive overview of your role and how you assist our newly onboarded partners to make them successful, and we really appreciate all you do.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll stay on, and if there's other questions, don't hesitate, or Noelle can give you my email, or feel free to call me if there's things that pop up even after this that you want to dig deeper in. I'm more than happy to share.
Great, thank you. So yes, Scott Colentz is our newly onboarded Director of Partner Recruitment. And you want to just kind of give your little intro of who you are, your background, and a little bit to give an update about Acumatica.
Yeah, happy to. First off, I didn't realize that picture was out there. I actually was happy in that picture. Just was a bad angle. It was a long
really
day. I'm smiling on the inside. It was a really long day of walking around Paris, and my girlfriend had to have one more picture. That's the one she got. So in any event, Jeremy, thank you so much for your time today. I'm not surprised that SWK was Partner of the Year. I've actually, in one way or platform, have been working with SWK for years and always have been a tremendous resource out there. So thanks for your time. Karen, I had a friend years ago who was in the astronaut training program, and every time he came over and you'd have a dinner or a conversation with him, he left and you wanted to get your wallet and go down to the recruitment station for the Air Force and sign up. And that's how I feel with you. It's like great energy, really great to have people like you on board. And that's why I deliberately came to Acumatica, like so many people I run into here at the company. It's not an accident that we're here. We weren't, unemployed looking for work. This is a company that's making great inroads with people and technology and just the right direction at the right time. So it's an exciting place to be. And honestly, if I didn't come to be an employee here, I probably would have signed up to be a partner. So yeah, I mean, it's that exciting. And so, with the trends, with what we're delivering, the team, I'll just I'm going to make this brief. The team that is here, I've worked with 8 of them in previous lives, including my boss, Jeff Ashley, who was my boss at SAP and is the same person today as he was 15 years ago, industry expert, gentleman, sweetheart. So, love the people. Everybody I run into is more astounding than the next. There's nobody that I've run into that doesn't have deep industry knowledge and is here to help partners excel. So it's an exciting place to be. And, I'm happy to help any partner with, whatever questions and issues you have. A quick question came up in the past 2 conversations I've had about the acquisition of Acumatica recently by EQT, which is an equity company out of Sweden. And, basically just to interpret what that is, this was an acquisition that was a good acquisition because we could have been purchased by any of the major publishers and just had our purchase done to suck the account base down and that'd be it. So this is business as usual, no executive changes, no platform changes, no partner changes. We're not going to put a direct sales team in place, not now, not ever. We are part now of a $60 billion venture capital company that also owns a product called IFS. We're not merging, we're not hyphenating. They're 2 different products, and it's the only thing that IFS brings to the Acumatica table is offices in some 50 countries that we'll be able to hang our sign on as well and have a big boost in brand name recognition and presence in other countries. Obviously, the more software that you sell, the bigger your name and the better it is for everybody. So in terms of the acquisition, yeah, couldn't be better. It couldn't be a better circumstance nor company that did the acquisition. And due to the fact that we're not changing anything, it's full steam ahead with the channel program that we have, and the technology is going to get, cash infusion. We're going to be able to make improvements across the board. Headcount is increasing. So all really great things are happening right now. And short of that, I don't want to take up too much more of your time, so I will toss it back to Noel.
And Adrienne, I think at this point we would like to turn it over.
Thank you so much, Scott, Noel, Mark, and Jeremy for joining us today. We really appreciate your time and presenting Acumatica to us. And thanks so much. Take care.